Rinseless Wash is far better than traditional car soap. Changed my mind. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Will. Today, I'll be showing you guys why I think Rinseless Wash is far more superior than traditional car soap. Now, you guys might say, well, Will, you live in an apartment, of course you say that. Now, that's true, but the list of reasons I will give you why Rinseless Wash is better are not going to just be, well, it saves more water and I don't need running water all the time. It's gonna be more than that. So hang tight and we'll see why Rinseless Wash is better. First of all, let's talk about what Rinseless Wash is. It is a cleaning solution that consists of both surfactants and polymers. Now, of course, not all Rinseless Wash are made equal, but a lot of them are honestly, I think, more similar than different these days. Rinseless Wash has come a long way. Back then, Rinseless Wash was just an alternative cleaning solution for your vehicles when you can't use soap. And now, Rinseless Wash has evolved so much that the cleaning power is honestly just as good, if not better, than normal car soap.
As I'm prepping the wash buckets here, one big noticeable difference is that Rinseless Wash is more economical. Although traditional soap is very dilutable, you still have to make a separate mix for the foam cannon or the foamer, and to get good foam out of it, it does need to be much more concentrated, which means you have to use more product. And for rinseless washing, the pre-treating solution can just be taken straight out of the wash bucket.
So over here we have our Rinseless Wash bucket, and we'll be using a legacy sponge for that. And here we have our traditional car soap bucket. We'll use a microfiber mitt for that. For pre-treating Rinseless Wash, you can either use a sprayer like this, but your hand's gonna be cramping after, or you can use a sprayer like this. This is electric. I highly recommend this. This is awesome. Or you can use a big boy like this. This is the best method, I would say, because you cover the most area at a time. Now for traditional car soap, if you don't have a pressure washer, you can use a foamer like this. It will work. But if you have a pressure washer, use a foam cannon. I would honestly say with a foam cannon, pre-treating is probably the fastest way. So let's get to it.
Here I'll be showing you guys the rinseless wash process on the right side and the traditional car soap method on the left side. I'll be doing the same foam rinse foam method on both sides. The second advantage that Rinseless Wash has is that it is completely safe to use under the sun. Even if the sun dries out all the liquid and the Rinseless Wash has dried completely on the panel, it can still be easily removed because of the polymers in it. So instead of leaving water spots, it is actually polymer spots. However, if traditional soap dries on the panel under direct sunlight, there could be a chance of etching. As I'm washing the left side with traditional soap, I will have to come back and rinse off the bubbles after. But if you look at the right side, It's already been washed with Rinseless. I don't need to rinse anything off, and it's ready to be dried. Hence the name Rinseless. And because of this, it saves you time and makes it more efficient by cutting out an entire step in the wash process. And if your car is not that dirty, you don't even need to rinse the first time. You can just go straight to contact washing, making the whole wash process rinse-free. And this brings me to the next advantage, is that there's less chance of scratching when drying with Rinseless. The drying process is usually when most scratching happens, so we need a drying lubricant or a drying aid, which is what Rinseless is on its own. But as you can see on the left side, after the soap is rinsed off, what's left on the surface is just water, which isn't a very good lubricant for drying. So I will have to take another step to spray on some drying aid before I can dry with a rag, which a lot of people don't do, and they just dry with no lubricant. Whereas the Rinseless side, I can go straight to drying after contact washing because the surface is already covered in drying lubricant. On the vertical panels, I'm repeating the same exact steps. Doing them side by side, I found that when I'm using the traditional soap, it gives me this placebo effect that I'm cleaning everything underneath and stripping everything off, and all the foam and bubbles are giving me the security that I'm really giving it a good clean. So when I first learned about Rinseless and tried it in the beginning, it felt very different and it did not give me the same kind of security. But when I wiped away the Rinseless on a drying towel, the results spoke for itself.
Another major advantage that Rinseless Wash has is interior, because it's same solution, same dilution. You get a towel dampened in it, you can clean your interior just with this. So what you would do is you wipe over the areas you want to clean with a rinse and dampen towel, right? You take a dry towel to pick that up. And just like that, this will double as an interior cleaner as well. So that is one big plus for Rinseless Wash. It's its versatility. And I do not need to mix the additional bottle of Rinseless Wash because I can just use the same solution in the bucket that I just used. So even for a door jamb, I can just use Rinseless, spray it on, and wipe off. But with traditional car soap, it's like what we all like to see on Instagram. And you take a brush, it's really satisfying, I'll admit that. The annoying part will just be this annoying foam that we're left over to deal with. So I gotta come back and wipe it back up, and hopefully it doesn't get stuck in the crevice. Now there's water stuck in places that it's hard to get out of. So now that I showed you guys why I prefer rinseless washing, I'll also show you guys how rinseless wash works and what is the proper way to do a rinseless wash. As you guys saw earlier, you always want to start with a pre-treat before you touch the panel. Never touch a dry panel unless you're polishing. Now at this stage, if your car isn't too dirty, you can just go ahead with a sponge. But since this car has been out for a couple of weeks and has been washed, and there's some stuff on it that I think it's gonna be a little dirtier than that. So what I will do is I'm gonna rinse this off and then treat it again. It's what we call foam rinse foam. So now we're ready for contact washing. We'll just take our sponge. We want to dip it in our rinseless solution. Get it to where it's at the verge of dripping. You don't want to dripping wet like this, but you want to squeeze it out where you can feel the weight of it, but it's not completely dry. Now we're doing our contact washing. All you need to do is just have your sponge on the surface and just glide it. You don't need to put down any pressure. It looks like you're just rubbing water on your vehicle, but I assure you, it is not just water. The rinseless solution doesn't seem like it's cleaning much, but the polymers and surfactants are encapsulating the dirt. Basically, there are tiny little bubbles that pick up dirt particles and make them float. So they're not scratching against the surface of your paint.
In between panels, you want to dunk your sponge back in the rinseless bucket to clean it, so you're not using a dirty media on your paint surfaces.
So the sponge has two sides. The two sides are meant for you to use one side, and once you get the sponge dirty enough, or you're done with a portion of the surface, then you can flip and then continue to clean. The two sides are the only surfaces that you want to use the sponge to clean with. You don't want to use the side like here, because as you can see, they don't have these cutouts.
Once your paint is properly cleaned with a contact wash, you can go straight to drying. The rinses left over on the panel will act as a lubricant, so as you dry, your towel should glide, and that will prevent you from scratching. And if the sun or the wind is drying out your surface before you get to it, then be sure to spray it with rinseless again before you dry. Just make sure you don't touch a dry panel.
As you guys can see, rinseless wash is very simple, and it requires minimal equipment as well, so it's perfect for everyone. You can get just as good of a result as you can with traditional car soap, so don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And of course, I think rinseless wash is far more superior than traditional car soap, but the purpose of this video is not to bash traditional car soap, because we all admit it, we love a good foam. So traditional car soap is just much more fun. And that's one thing that the rinseless wash can never beat. However, rinseless wash is just more efficient and more practical, in my opinion. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think and which one you guys prefer. And there's no reason to hate on each other for using one or another, because they both work. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like and comment down below. I'll really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you like. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this has been helpful and informative. and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye. Ah, shush.